How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay, and today I'm going to give you another update on my dividend ETF passive income portfolio. I'm trying to build from $0 to $100,000, showing you guys every step of the way, and we have some big changes to talk about. So if you like the transparency, you like hearing about everything I'm doing with this portfolio and seeing the progress, give this video a like down below, let me know you're enjoying the content, and let YouTube know that you're enjoying the content at the same time. Without further ado, let's jump into the portfolio and get talking about these changes. So if you're new here, this portfolio is at M1 Finance. I am a big fan of the M1 Finance platform. I use it for multiple portfolios other than just this dividend ETF portfolio. Down in the description of all of my videos, you can find links to my M1 Finance portfolios and a link to sign up to M1 Finance if you're not yet a member. I think you get like $50 if you sign up using my link. No pressure, do what you want to do, but I'm a fan. So you can see currently my passive income portfolio balance is sitting at about $13,143. Still a long way from that 100K mark we're aiming for. I think in my last update, we were just above $10,000. It's like 10,200 and something. I didn't go back and check that video before I started recording, so I don't know the exact number. Overall, since I started this portfolio, I am down $339, which is minus 4.13%. But if you've been paying attention to the markets at all lately, that is no surprise. We've been getting hit pretty hard all over the board, and since this is a relatively new portfolio, of course I'm going to be in the red. So those of you that have been with me for a while and are familiar with this portfolio will know the dividend ETFs I'm holding in here are my take on the popular Quadfecta portfolio. I've been holding 4 income ETFs, ticker symbol SCHD, ticker symbol QYLD, ticker symbol JEPI, and ticker symbol NUSI. If you're interested on why I picked those 4, or you want all the details on them individually, I've got plenty of videos on all of that down in the description of this one. So after you watch this, check out those, please. So I've been holding those 4 ETFs equal weighted in this portfolio since its inception. For this update, that has changed. I've made some tweaks. I've changed the weightings of these funds, and spoiler alert, I have added more dividend income ETFs to this portfolio. So let me take you through how I changed the weightings and my rationale, why I did that, what I'm thinking. And here you can see, from an even weight across all 4, I have increased the weighting of SCHD, QYLD, and JEPI, and I have taken down the weighting of NUSI and USI. SCHD is the most growth-oriented holding in this portfolio, so I bumped that up from 25% to 35%, not because I'm trying to time the market, being in the down market and I want to capture all that growth on the way up, but because as we're trying to build this from $0 to $100,000, I'm still in the early stages of that, and I should be focusing more on the growth aspects of this rather than just the equal weighted income aspects at this time. Now, with that said, I don't want to bump that way up, the others way down, and totally kill the overall yield of this portfolio. So that's why I took QYLD up slightly from 25 to 27%, because it's by far the highest yielding holding in this portfolio. And if you caught one of my recent videos on why NUSI is destroying this portfolio, you'll know why I have taken NUSI from 25% down to 10% in this portfolio. That's because NUSI's main function is to protect against crashes or large sudden drops in the market that would really affect this portfolio. In a slow and steady bear market like we're seeing, NUSI really doesn't provide the protection that you think it would. And again, because I'm still in the early stages of building this portfolio, I'm not later on, I'm not relying and taking the income out of this. That crash protection isn't so important to me at this stage in this portfolio's life. So that's why I've taken NUSI down from 25% down to it'll be a 10% holding in this when all is said and done. Now, JEPI, JEPI, is a more conservative investment. It's the one that is going to perform well in a market like we've been seeing. I think it's my best performing holding here year to date. So that's why I've bumped that one up from 25 to 28%. Just because if we do keep seeing the decline, that one will offer me more protection than any of these other holdings. Now, the best part about making all these changes, and one of the reasons I love M1 Finance, is all I've done here is change the target for each of these 4 funds. I haven't sold off any of my holdings in any of them. All that's going to happen is as I add new money to this portfolio every month, that new money is going to get allocated accordingly to bring my underweight holdings up to their set targets, and if anything is overweight, it'll just ignore that and not buy any new shares. So when I make my next deposit, because I'm trying to bump SCHD up from 25 to 35%, most of my money will go to buying shares of SCHD in order to get it up to that 35%. And because NUSI is still around a 25% holding here, and I'm taking it down to 10, I'm just not going to be buying any more shares of NUSI. Now, I don't want to sell my NUSI shares because as the market recovers, NUSI will perform pretty well compared to JEPI and QYLD. So I don't want to sell any of my shares there. I'm just not going to concentrate on adding new shares of NUSI at this time. Slightly changing the weightings of my original 4 income ETFs in this portfolio aren't the only changes I've made. I mentioned just a second ago I have some new holdings to talk about, and let's get into those now. So you can see here I have a second pie added to this portfolio. I named it creatively secondary dividend ETFs. And if we go into there, we can see I have 3 new holdings. I've added ticker symbol SCHY, which is Charles Schwab's International Dividend ETF. I've added ticker symbol DIVO or DIVO, which is another covered call type ETF. And I've added ticker symbol SPHD, which is the Invesco S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility Dividend ETF. You can see here how I've weighted those. I've got SCHY and DIVO at 40% each in this slice of the pie, and SPHD at 20%. Now I've done dedicated videos on SCHY and DIVO, again, down in the description, yada, yada, yada. SPHD, I haven't covered in detail yet. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more on that one. But the reason I have added these 3 to my overall portfolio, SCHY I added for mainly diversification to get some dividend exposure outside of the United States. DIVO is a fund that is generally held in the classic Quadfecta portfolio that has become so famous. I originally left it out of my portfolio because I preferred SCHD in that initial growth. But after doing my dedicated video on DIVO and keeping track of it for a while, I kind of warmed up to the ETF, so I wanted to get it in here. I wanted some exposure to that one. And finally, SPHD is the only one I haven't covered in detail on this channel, and SPHD is here mainly for diversification, and I'll go into a little bit of an explanation why. So the reason I picked SPHD to add to this portfolio in lieu of some of the more popular dividend ETFs that are out there is because a lot of those names like VIG, the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF, or DGRO, DGRO, if you look at the top holdings of those dividend ETFs, there's a lot of overlap with not only the index funds I hold, such as VTI, there's a lot of overlap with SCHD and some of those other dividend ETFs, and in a lot of those, there's a lot of overlap with some of the individual dividend stocks I hold in other parts of my portfolios. So while yes, on a spreadsheet or on paper, some of those other dividend ETFs may look like better choices and better overall ETFs with lower expense ratios and better performance, what have you, for the purposes of diversification in this portfolio, I think SPHD was the way to go. So now let's look at my overall portfolio with all the changes I made and new funds I've added. So the original 4 income ETFs, I have weighted at 70% of this total portfolio, and the newcomers, SCHY, DIVO, and SPHD, will total 30%. So if you want to see how my portfolio stacks up on a fund-by-fund basis, I will put that up on the screen right about now. And here we can see, even with the 3 new holdings, the overall dividend yield of this portfolio is currently 6.2%. So still well above average what you're gonna get if you're investing in individual dividend stocks or traditional dividend ETFs alone. The expense ratio is 0.34%. Not spectacular, I'll admit, but it's manageable. I can live with that. And now how the funds will break down in overall weighting. SCHD is my top overall holding portfolio-wide. It's 35% of that 70% slice of the pie, which comes out to 25% overall in the portfolio. JEPI, the JP Morgan Equity Premium ETF, is coming in next at 20%. QYLD is going to be 19% of the portfolio as it's currently weighted. Then come the 2 newcomers, DIVO and SCHY. Those will be 12% each of this overall portfolio. Finally, NUSI is coming in second to last at 7% overall, and SPHD at 5%. So that's how the portfolio is currently stacking up. Either praise me or tear me apart down in the comments below. Check out my detailed videos on each of these income ETFs down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.